Hey everyone, welcome to another Blu-ray haul. This time I'm talking about the stuff that I picked up from the very end of March to like early April. I have not been able to pick up as much as I wanted to. Obviously I've been busy, I've been buying a house, and so I've been in the process of doing that and saving up as much money as possible. But there was a couple of sales that happened that I was able to eagerly jump on. And now I'm just going to have to wait for more sales. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit about each of these films. I have only seen a few of them actually, because a lot of these things, a lot of the sales that happened are a lot of movies I have not seen yet. Surprise, surprise, I just keep adding more and more. I'm going to die before I see all the movies that I own in my collection. That's the sad truth. Alright, so let's just start off with a few things that I have seen. Alright, so first kicking things off, we have A Star is Born. So this is the recent Star is Born with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. This movie I really enjoyed quite a bit, and I actually think this was a really compelling love story between two musicians, and I actually think this is a really good drama that Bradley Cooper has crafted together, and obviously his performance is really fantastic in this film, and I love how this is like just the fourth iteration of this film, and I actually have not seen any of the other iterations. I have the Judy Garland one, but I would like to see the other ones as well. But I'm really excited to own this because it was on sale for $14.99 recently, and so that was a good deal for this, so I picked it up. Speaking of $14.99 films, I also picked up Clint Eastwood's The Mule. This is the last thing that Clint Eastwood made. It came out last year as well. I think this movie was really talked about. It wasn't really talked about that much. I really loved this movie. It reminded me of like a tamer Gran Torino. You got this old guy who has just been working with his... honestly, he's been focusing on work his entire life and kind of neglecting his family. But anyway, he becomes a drug mule, honestly, because the economy has taken away his job, and he pretty much needs to make money, and so he just starts running, you know, drugs to these people who are in the cartels. And so anyway, it's really fun. I think it has a good statement, and I actually think it's kind of an anti-Clint Eastwood film. Clint Eastwood is kind of known for being a little political, and I actually think he's kind of critiquing his generation a little bit in this movie, which I think is really interesting. And I think is something that I find very fascinating for Clint Eastwood. And but anyway, not to really get political because that's not really my favorite thing to do. I really enjoyed this movie one way or the other. I like Clint Eastwood as an actor, as a director as well, as an actor and as a director. Fuck you, man. All right, so moving on from Clint Eastwood and The Mule, we have Columbus. This movie came out a few years ago, and it's finally got a Blu-ray release. Thank you very much, Oscilloscope. Oscilloscope. I can never talk. But I really like this Blu-ray quite a bit, except for Oscilloscope has its weird... I don't really like the Blu-ray covers of it, but because it's pretty bare bones. But I suppose for a movie like this, Kaganada, who is the director, we have John Cho as the main actor in this film. I really loved this movie. It's a lot about architecture, and it's just one of those just beautifully shot, crafted films that I thought was just fascinating to kind of just view. It's a story that is just really not too compelling of the small town in America, but I really enjoyed the performances, the cinematography, and just pretty much the aesthetics of this film. So I'm happy to finally own this movie, and so Columbus, good job. I'm finally happy that you're on Blu-ray. Now put out Thunder Road someone. I think Criterion should put out Thunder Road. Alright, moving on from there, we're actually talking about one of my favorite franchises that I never talk about, actually. Dragon Ball Z Super Broly. This is the newest Dragon Ball Super film, Dragon Ball Z film. Anyway, Broly, he's been around for a long time, and I watched this in theaters with my friends, Cris, Seth, and a few others. You've seen them on the channel. This is the steelbook, actually. It's really cool. It comes with this. There's Broly right there. I really like this movie. I thought it was really well done, and so I love Dragon Ball Z. I have since I was a kid, so might as well keep adding to the collection. So let's actually talk about the films that I have not seen finally. Alright, so I actually picked up a few more things at Hamilton Books because I like their deals, and I explored their catalog a little bit more. I had a little bit of time. So here's a few things that I have not seen that I've been having on my radar for a couple of years. The first one is Much to Do About Nothing. So this is a Joss Whedon film. It's a black and white film. It's a retelling of a Shakespeare play, and I heard it's really well done and really well made. I remember watching the trailers back in the day when I used to watch, you know, trailers on DVDs and stuff, and so I just remember this film, and I'm like, hey, you know what, I should probably get this movie. So it was a really good deal. Next is The Trip to Italy. I think this is the second of the films with these two actors right here, with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon. I haven't seen The Trip, which I think is the first one, and I plan on getting that very soon. So I'm going to wait to see this until I see The Trip first. So I'm excited to see this, because I've actually heard these are really, really funny films. Very much a lot like Sideways, it looks like. Next is Woody Allen's Take the Money and Run. I'm just exploring Woody Allen's filmography. I'm really kind of just excited to kind of see other things. I really didn't care too much for a few of his films, but I really did enjoy Annie Hall, and Blue Jasmine was good, and so I'm excited to explore more. Next is a horror film that came out a few years ago, We Are Still Here. I have seen this trailer for this film, and I like the aesthetics of it. I heard it's pretty good, and honestly it's just a good atmospheric horror film that I'm just excited to see. Next is a classic, Irwin Allen's Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. I remember seeing this years and years ago when I was like a child on the TV, and it scared the hell out of me. And so this and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea were the movies that really kind of shaped my my love of like the ocean, but at the same time I'm terrified of that place because of things like this. So I'm excited to see that again. Next I have a Western with James Stewart, Broken Arrow. This is a Kino Lorber classic that I got on Hamilton Books. I'm excited to see this. I like Jimmy Stewart. So, and then finally, I think this is the winner of 3 Oscars right here. We got Coming Home. We got Jane Fonda, Jon Voight, Bruce Dern. I really don't know much about this, but I know this movie won a lot of awards, and I was excited when I looked into it a little bit more, but this is something that I'm excited to look into. So let's actually move on from there. So moving on from there, actually there was a giant sale that I was really, really excited and happy about, and I was only really wanted to limit myself to a few films, but the Warner Archive Collection, they had a sale where they halved off all of their Blu-rays. They're normally $20, and so they were all around $10, so I thought this was a really good deal, and I'm really excited to explore a lot of these classic films, and some of them are a little bit more modern, but it's in the Archive Collection, and I'm just excited. So the first one I got was Suspicion. This is an Alfred Hitchcock film. I have most of the Alfred Hitchcock films, but I don't have this one, and I'm excited to check this one out. It's got Cary Grant and Joan Fontaine, so I mean those two names alone are just huge. So excited to see that. Film that I've had on my list for over 3 years, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I still haven't seen this movie. Elizabeth Taylor, I hear, plays just a phenomenal role in this film. And then we also have Richard Burton, so I'm excited to see this one quite a bit, actually. Next is one of my favorite actors from this particular period, Robert Mitchum, in Out of the Past. And this is just another thing with Kirk Douglas, Jane Greer, Rhonda Fleming, and Richard Webb. I'm just excited to see this movie because I love Robert Mitchum for some reason. He's just an insane person. Another movie that I've just recently kind of had on my radar was Performance. This is with Mick Jagger and Mick Jagger. So I don't really know much about this film. However, it popped up on recommendations and I looked into it a little bit and I'm like, it looks interesting. So got that. Another film that I've had on my list for quite some time, a couple years now, is Wait Until Dark. I've heard this is a good horror film with Audrey Hepburn, Alan Arkin's in it as well. I think this is before he was really into like his comedy. And then Richard Crenna. And so I'm just excited to see this movie. I heard it's a dark film. Wait Until Dark, I get it. But I mean, like, it's really a thriller and a dark film, and it came out a little bit earlier than I thought it did. So I think this came out in 1967, yes. One of the newer films on this list, but not really that new, is A World According to Garp. I feel like I've seen parts of this film, but I haven't seen it all the way through, so I picked it up because I like Robin Williams quite a bit, so I'm excited to see that movie. After that, I have another film, To Have or Have Not. This is Howard Hawks' production. We have Humphrey Bogart, you know him, and Lauren Bacall, and so I'm excited to see this movie. I love these kind of movie posters, and I just love these things. Moving on from there is another Alfred Hitchcock film, The Wrong Man, and this is with Henry Fonda and Vera Miles. I'm just, once again, excited about this cover. I love these covers because it just reminds me of film noir, and there's an aesthetic to Hitchcock films that I really want to check out and that I really like, and so I'm almost catching up with all the Hitchcock films, I swear. Next is a film that I still have not seen, Cabaret, and this is a pretty crazy film, just on the cover alone. I really don't know much about this movie, but I can just tell kind of what this movie is probably going to be about. So we'll see how this movie unfolds, and it's probably pretty crazy. And then the last movie I picked up is Meet Me in St. Louis. We got Judy Garland playing the titular role, and so I'm just really excited to check this movie out as well. I heard it's a fantastic film. I've heard about this movie for quite some time. I've known about a lot of references from this movie, so anyway, that is what I picked up for this Blu-ray haul. I picked up quite a few things, and was really happy that this Warner Archive sale came up. Hamilton Books exists, and then a few other sales just outside of that for some pretty good deals. The only thing I actually really think I paid full price for was that Dragon Ball Super film. But I'm really excited to be moving very soon. I hope you have checked that out. I'm about to move into my own house, and I'll be doing a tour video once I have that all settled up. Otherwise, you're going to be seeing a different backdrop very soon. So I'm really just thankful that I've been here in this particular house and in this spot for the last, I guess, 6 months or so. But yeah, I'm just really happy about the direction of the channel and everything, how everything's going. I hope everyone's doing well. Let me know what you think down below of all of my pickups. I hope you like this video, comment down below, share this video, hit that notification bell and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around. Black Phillip out.